Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Comedy Castle podcast. I'm your host, Joel Fragamenti. Got a big week coming up at the Comedy Castle with Mitch Fatel. Mitch has not been to our club in years and years. We'll talk about that in our interview. Got a whole brand new, fresh interview. I just got off the phone with Mitch. It was great. You're going to enjoy that. But let's tell you what's going on here officially throughout this week. Wednesday night, as we do this, July the 8th. Wednesday. Tomorrow, as I'm recording this, we got open mic night at 7:30. We always got a fun mix of performers on open mic night. Some professionals, some amateurs, all doing short sets. It's always a good time at open mic night. That's at 7:30. $5 to get in. $5. That's right. That's all you do. $5. Show on up. Watch open mic. You'll have a good time. And then we got Mitch Fatel coming in. 7:30 p.m. is the show time on Thursday the 9th. 7:15 and 9:45 are your show times on Friday, July 10th, and then Saturday, July 11th. 7 p.m. and 9:30. So 5 shows, usual show times for this weekend at the Comedy Castle. It's going to be a good time. And I believe we're doing a special, right? Let's look that up. Yeah, we've got, let's see, a 50% off. There you go. There you go. If you buy them online any night, 50% off on tickets. So go to comedycastle.com and come see Mitch Fatel. He's awesome. Mitch, I tell the story. I felt like I saw him his first time at our club 20-some years ago when I was a comic hanging around sitting in the back because I heard of him and thought he was funny. And all these years later, he's back, and he'll tell you it's a fun interview. It's a good one. I really enjoyed his talk. He seemed to be into it. Not that every person I've interviewed hasn't been into it, or some haven't been into it. I don't know. They seem into it. As long as I'm into it, you'll be into it, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, just a quick update on me. You know, I wasn't doing this show for a little bit. I was recovering from surgery that I had back in beginning of June. And so I am back at the club. Yes, if you're coming out to Comedy Castle, Mitch Fatel, say hi to me. I'll be there. And yeah, I'm feeling better. It was a tough road to recover from the particular surgery that I had. And I don't wish what I went through on anyone. So hopefully you don't get to a position where you got to have a fourth surgery for a hernia because the other ones didn't take. That's no fun. But I'm doing much better, and I'm excited to be back. Excited to be back at the club. We had a fun weekend last week with the Comedy Rumble last Thursday and Friday on the second and third there. Brett Hayden always does a good job, and comics bring it. They bring it in that 90 seconds. So shout out to Brett and all the funny comics from the Rumble. But it's going to be a great weekend with Mitch Fatel. Here's some things that we talked about in this interview. We talked about how he started out. It was the 90s, New York City. The guys he worked with starting out, Louis C.K., Greg Giraldo. Here's some memories of those guys. How he was a Howard Stern intern, which is something that I knew, but maybe a lot of people don't know that. And he's got a history with Howard. Pretty interesting stuff there. We'll talk about why his delivery is what it is. You know, when he's talking to us, Mitch is, when he talks on stage, he does a little bit of an affect, a little bit of what I would call a comedy persona, where he talks a little slow, and the pros and cons of talking slow, and why you should or shouldn't do that. And he gives some really great comedy advice in here. We'll talk about him doing Comedy Central Presents back in its heyday. And if he was actually missing from the comedy world and running a comedy club in Arkansas. That was a thing I read on Reddit about Mitch Fatel. And I was like, that can't be true. And we get to the bottom of it, though. I won't let you down. I get to the bottom of it. I wouldn't let you guys down here on the Comedy Castle podcast after being away for all those weeks. I would not ask the question of the missing comedian Mitch Fatel. All right, I think you're going to enjoy this interview, and I really think you're going to enjoy if you come out and see Mitch this weekend. Let's let you listen to it right now, and then we'll be back to wrap it up. Here's Mitch Fatel. Ladies and gentlemen, on the other end of my line, it's a pleasure to speak to a man that I've been a fan of. I've known about him. I think I've even seen him live. Mitch Fatel, welcome to the Comedy Castle podcast.
I know you're a fan. Oh. Everybody's a fan of it. I'm used to it at this point in my life. Well, hey man, thanks for having me on. I'm excited about this.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a fun weekend. One thing, because I feel like I might have seen your first weekend ever at the Comedy Castle.
Okay, so we're talking about probably 20 years ago.
Yeah, probably 20 years ago, because I was just some comic, and I would kind of sneak into the club or sit in the back, whatever. Nice. Being very excited. And there's a picture of you from that era very prominently hanging in our club today.
Which picture is it?
It's a headshot of you in black and white, kind of standing there, you know.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's not me, but okay.
No, I'm pretty sure it is.
It's
in a great spot in our club.
Let's just get along, Joel.
You're next to Greg Giraldo, which should be an honor on some level. Yeah, there you go. So.
Started out with him. He's still missed. He's still very missed, that guy.
He was great. Yeah, I used to hang out with Greg when he would come into town.
Yeah, he was awesome. He was a really good guy. Yeah, it's sad because like the new generation probably don't even remember him at all. And he was just such a great comic. And he was so good. And one of the things about him that was so good is he was Latino, but his whole entire act was not about, I'm Latino. He would just, it was like such and I remember those, like, he didn't do anything identity wise. He was just kind of like, just a funny guy. And it was really cool.
Yeah, he was great. So you started New York City then. Was it mid 90s when you started?
Jeez, oh my God. Why do you got to do this to me, dude? I think it was, we all started out. It was me, Greg, Louie.
Okay.
And I think we started out, I think it was the 90s because I think I did Letterman. In 96 was my first one. Wow. Yeah, so there you go.
That was a huge scene.
Yeah, it was a great scene. And quite honestly, I hate to be one of those curmudgeons that says it'll never be as good as that, but it will never be as good as that. Wow. It was just such a great time for comedy, and we were all coming up. And I think that when we look back now, all of us just kind of wish, and this is just kind of what age does to you, that we were more... How do I put this in a nice way? That like we were more comrades instead of like, in competition. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. I get that. I started in '99 in Detroit, and it's changed so much. And I think one thing is just a million comedians versus when I started.
And also when we started, we were funny. There's a big difference today. A lot of comics are not that funny, and but there's also some good comics out there. I haven't
funny good comics.
I haven't seen them, but I'm sure they're out there somewhere.
Well, but I think the frustration is when you are really good, you don't maybe have the opportunities that we had starting out, if that makes sense, because of the numbers game.
That is a very cool point. Yeah. You're right. It's just like, it was easier to be seen if you were talented back then because there was not such a glut of comedy. And so that's actually a really good point.
Yeah. And then I also remember, I think probably hearing about you the first time was probably on the Howard Stern show.
So I started as an intern for Howard. And one of my favorite Howard stories was he told me one day on the air, he said, you want to be a stand-up comedian? And I said, yeah. And he goes, man, you're not even funny. There's no way you're going to make it, which really hurt my feelings. Yeah. But then you look back and you're like, well, that was his thing. And then to his credit, the first time I got on Letterman, he went on the next day and he said, and it's probably one of my proudest moments actually in comedy. He said, man, I was wrong. He goes, that guy is funny. He's like, he's good. And that was my come to Jesus moment where I felt like I had arrived. That was my winning.
Yeah, I feel like I must have heard that exact show, and that's where I heard about you. And that's
really cool, man.
That's a cool route to be a guy that Howard maybe didn't think a whole lot about, and then you showed him.
Yeah, and actually what he actually always said to me was when I went in to do his show after that, when I was established, he said, man, he goes, he said he's proud of me, which is like Howard doesn't say he's proud of anyone. That was the best feeling ever. And then he said he was proudest that I never used his name because when I went into stand up, I was like, I don't want to get spots off of his name. I just want to get it on my own talent. So I I lied. I told everybody that I wasn't that Mitch from the Howard Stern show, and nobody knew who I was, and
Nice.
and that always meant a lot to me.
Yeah, that anonymity of radio. You deny everything.
Yeah, no one had really seen. And back then, it wasn't like podcasts are today, where everything's on the air and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was a really great time. I wish I had appreciated it more, honestly.
Really? Yeah. I mean, it's that show, especially in that era, was such a legendary thing and such an incubation for so many stand-ups getting their breaks on there, and just
I don't think people ever realize like just how trailblazing he was, that he was very, very, very different. No one had ever heard of anyone like him. And there's been a lot of people that have tried to emulate him, and they just come off sounding kind of dumb because there's only one Howard Stern, you know, and he was really, really influential in a lot of our lives.
And now let's talk about your style as a comedian, which you have sort of I don't know how you would describe it. I would describe it as you talk very deliberately.
No, I would describe it as I just stole it all from Greg Giraldo. I mean, I figured he's not around. He's not going to call me on it. So
that's fair. But you speak very deliberately, and I think it makes it, people are anticipating the next thing that you're about to say. And I think that makes it funnier.
That's a really cool thing for you to say, because it means a lot to me. Actually, when I started comedy, what I noticed was there were too many comedians that spoke too fast. Okay. And I thought that was kind of a nervous thing. And I said, I want to, and I had been, really into comedians like Stephen Wright and comedians that talked a little slower and used their words. Yeah. So I wanted my words to be more important than anything. So, because I love words. So I thought that, I was going to use the timing and inflection, and that was very deliberate, and it meant a lot to me to start to do that. And it was also very stressful too, because at that time, a lot of people were very high energy, because they were coming off of like Sam Kinison and Eddie Murphy, who are freaking brilliant comedians, but they were very, very animated. And I wanted to kind of do the opposite.
Right. And I also feel like, because I teach comedy class and I tell comedians this, that maybe I said, people might, you might play in a bar where it's loud. And so if you speak, if you have less silence, you might have more success. And I feel like, so what you were doing, I would feel like would be very challenging starting out.
Oh man, that's really cool. Yeah, it was really challenging. And it's really funny you say that, because recently I found a friend of mine was like, dude, you're going to love this. And they had like a tape of me when I was an open micer. Yeah. And I was doing, I don't even know how to describe it, but and I'm a New Yorker, so maybe I heard it, but I was doing like a tough Italian guy, and I was like talking really fast, which just gives me like, which I always like to prove to the new comedians that like what you're doing now is nothing like what you're going to be doing in years from now, because you start to develop. And that's my first character, was just going like, you know what I'm talking about? I'm just this chick or whatever. And I was like, I don't know what I was doing, but it wasn't me, and I wasn't very successful. And then I started to slowly become who I am on stage, and slowed it down and started doing the writing. And it was very, very frightening at first, because the audience was used to, very, very high ammo, powerful things. And luckily I started to have a lot of success with it, and people caught up to me, and that was always very satisfying.
If you talk slow, you just got to be funny. That's the thing.
You're right. You can't get away with it. Yeah. Can't get away with it. Yeah.
Funny, man. And then, of course, your career, Comedy Central Presents, those were huge at the time. You had a big one of those.
Yeah, Comedy Central Presents was actually one of the most exciting things. I have two specials. I have a half-hour special, which is my favorite, and then I did an hour special that I hate. So if you see the hour special, everybody ignore it. But if you see the half-hour special, I think it's still really funny. So
yeah, those were huge at the time. I remember people those would come out, and the young comedians would all kind of get together and give their reviews, after the show or whatever. Would you say, I saw this new one. That guy wasn't very good. I thought it'd be better. This was awesome. But I remember it was being a big deal, man. That was a huge...
it's very exciting. Yeah. And what's funny is I look back at that, everything I did was amazing, but the best thing I ever did was the Letterman show, because the Letterman show was, to me, like where, like when I was a kid, when I was 14 or 15, I used to watch, the Letterman show, and he'd bring on these young comedians. And I said, one day he's going to say my name. And that was my goal since I was 14 or 15. And then at 25, I did his show. So that was more satisfying than any of them. Yeah. But they're all great, but that was the best one.
You did the CBS show at the Ed Sullivan? Is that the one you did?
I did the Ed Sullivan. Yeah, just when he had come over. And that's still one of my favorite memories.
Yeah,
and I did great. And then he had me back a second time and I choked.
Wow.
I'm never good at seconds, I'm learning. And my first Comedy Central special was great. Second one, not so much. So I think I'm only good at first. So that's why whenever I'm with a girl, I have sex with her once and I just disappear after that. I don't want her to figure me out.
I watched Bad Girls. That was good.
Yeah. Bad Girls is a classic now.
It's good. Yeah, Bad Girls is funny.
Totally different kind of act, but it was me maturing into a conservative young man.
Liked your wife at the beginning of that. That was cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Everybody likes it. That's the best. She's becoming kind of famous from it.
Oh, well, that's the least you could do, right? I don't know. How does your wife deal with you being famous or traveling, any of all the stuff that comes with comedy?
I don't think she thinks I'm funny. But I think that's a good thing because I think I married someone kind of, you don't want to marry someone just like you. So she's got a totally different kind of sense of humor. My son thinks she's funnier than me, which I think is kind of good. But me and her both are like in a little bit of a competition because I think we have different sense of humor. Maybe that's what makes it work.
My wife tells everybody I'm the funny one. That's what she's the funny one. That's what she tells people.
Yeah, that's what wives do, don't they?
Joel's a comedian, but I'm the funny one in the relationship. Okay.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing your wife perform then.
Oh, she won't. Believe me, I've given her every opportunity.
She won't get
on stage. I can introduce you. Let me put this way. My dog has been on stage with me, and she is not. So
nice.
That's where we're
supportive. All right, cool.
Well, that's any family member is welcome, but she won't take the invite. But
well, I'm looking forward to meeting your dog,
Baxter. I'll tell you what, Baxter. I'm not bragging about Baxter's career, but Baxter was on stage with Dave Fatel a couple months ago.
Oh, really?
How cool is that?
Are you putting pressure on me? Like, I'm just letting you know. David Tell had all of a sudden
had my dog Baxter on stage.
I have to tell my feature. You won't be working with me today. It'll be Baxter.
We got Baxter working, but he was a natural though. He was very cool. He just
what kind of doggy is Baxter?
Baxter is a Yorkie poo.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
25 pounds, pretty chill.
Not the manliest, but I have a cream retriever, so I can't talk.
Yeah,
that is. She's a very passive dog.
Yeah, my dog's very cool, Baxter. I got another one that's not as nice, but we love Baxter.
Oh, Baxter's my favorite.
Baxter's great. Yeah, maybe you'll meet Baxter. I don't know. Probably not.
Yeah, bring Baxter to the show.
Bring Baxter. All right, Baxter. You got to follow it up.
Yeah.
His first appearance with Fatel was great. He showed up with Mitch Fatel. Not so good.
Tell Baxter I'll introduce him to Howard Stern if he's funny. Baxter doesn't even remember Howard Stern. He's probably way too young, right?
He is. He's 3.
Oh yeah, he doesn't need the back.
You don't know Howard Stern. And let me ask you this: just about your career in general? I saw I was reading Reddit, and you read Reddit, you see things on there. Yes. There was this thread about Mitch Fatel. Where has he gone? He has disappeared. And then the guy's like, I saw Mitch Fatel was running a comedy club in Arkansas. Is any of this true? What are we to believe here?
No. This is what happened. It's funny you say that. So I moved to Arkansas because my in-laws live in Arkansas. Okay, yeah. So I always wanted a farm. Yeah. So I wanted my son out here to see his grandparents. So I said, I'm going to keep my condo in New York. I'm going to buy myself a little farm. And I want to farm stuff. So when I was out here, I only come out to Arkansas during the summer, and then I live on the East Coast in the winter. And I come out here and I spend time with my family out here for the summer, and then I go on the road most of the other time. And anyway, so there's a comedy club here, and I said to the guy, hey, if you want me to book you acts, I know everybody while I'm in town and I don't go on the road, I'll book some acts for you. So I was just booking some acts for him, and I think I put together a good shows for him because it was mostly Baxter. I mostly booked Baxter
he's available.
Every other week.
Yes, he's available for booking.
Yeah, so I did do that for a little bit. I didn't run a club. I helped.
You helped it out, okay? Because you never know when you read this stuff, and I go, maybe. I mean, I know comics that run clubs, and my friend Mike Green out in Waterford.
Mikey, good old Mike Green.
Mike's a good buddy of mine, and he's running that club. I always make Mike
perform. I always make him go back on stage because he's so funny.
He is so funny. I love Mike.
He's a great act.
And even, I don't perform as much as I used to, but I, once in a while I get up at the club or do a one-nighter here and there, but, who knows?
Well, I hope I get to do, man.
Enjoy both. I enjoy both of those things. But you enjoy the behind the scenes of comedy? Do you enjoy?
I enjoy everything comedy related. Yeah. Everything. I enjoy I've always been the kind of person. When I used to do the Tonight Show, I used to after I performed on the Tonight Show, always used to ask them to bring me in the back where the director sat. Mm-hmm. And they're like, why do you want to see that? And I was like, I just like watching show business. I like watching the excitement of directing. And I thought that was so fun. So I used to go in and take a seat and I used to watch the director of the Tonight Show. And I thought I love it all. I love everything that has to do with show business. I love the way they set up cameras. I love the scripts. I love everything, the makeup. I just think it's the coolest business in the world.
Right. And then I was talking to a friend about if they had questions for Mitch. And this is what he came up with. I'll tell you who it is when I tell you. He says, ask him about his favorite true crime documentaries. That's what
I love true crime. Who told you that?
That was Jason Filan Mars, and his wife Amanda opened for you.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah.
They're good friends of mine.
Well, I think it's because I secretly want to kill my wife. So I think I'm fascinated. I think I'm more getting information than enjoying the truth. I'm like, okay, remember not to do that. Remember to wear gloves. I don't know why. I'm fascinated by it.
I love it too, man. What's the good one now? Do you recommend?
What's a good true crime? I mean, there's so many. I just watched. You know what? I just watched. It's called it's Netflix, and it's not Worst Neighbor Ever. I think it's called
Perfect Neighbor. Is it Perfect Neighbor?
Perfect Neighbor, where the woman shoots the kids or something
through the door. She shoots through the door.
She shoots the mom through the door. Dude, how good was that?
That one was great.
They had such great footage.
It's just body cam footage. It was amazing. Yeah.
I got into it. I got into true crime because when I started touring, I'd be in a van going across the country. This is true. I'd be in a van with two other guys and we'd be going across the country and we'd have hours and hours and hours. And it was before iPhone. So there was no podcast or anything to listen to. And it was just radio. And so I used to sit in the back of the van and I used to get books at the local store just to read on these. And I remember the first true crime I ever read, and tell me if you remember this case. It was a woman named Pamela Smart. Do you remember her?
She slept with the student or something, right?
Yes. Then she had the student kill her husband. And I read that and I was like, I am hooked on these weirdos. I don't know why, and I cannot get myself enough true crime. I'll watch it constantly on the road. I watch all those 48 hours. Sure. And also the one with the guy. Oh, this is a good one. It's the guy who killed his son. He's a really rich guy and what was it? Oh, dude, it's gonna kill me now. I'm gonna remember it and then I'll you'll add it on.
We'll add it. Text it to me if we hang up.
Yeah, I'll text it to you. It's like some really, really rich guy who killed his son on his property because he was getting into trouble with money problems.
Wow.
And
was that the Mr. Murdoch?
Murdoch.
Yeah, Mr. Murdoch. Yeah, there's a couple
you're good.
Those.
You're good.
Me and my wife. That's what we do.
Can I come over and snuggle with you guys and we can watch that?
Me, my wife, Baxter. Yeah, we'll all cuddle.
I'll just be over on the side with Baxter.
Hang out on the love seat with Baxter. Why not?
Love it.
That's a good one. And Maternal Instinct, if you haven't seen that one, that's kind of the latest hot one.
Do me a favor. Just tell me just give me an idea what that one was about. And I'll tell you if I saw it. Okay, so
Maternal Instinct, a lady, what is her deal exactly? There's a lady who meets a guy and wants to have a baby.
Okay, I haven't seen it, so I'll go see it.
It's on Netflix. It's on
Maternal
Netflix.
Instinct.
Maternal Instinct. It's been out for a couple weeks, but it's very cool.
And you liked it? Liked it?
Yes. My wife loved it. I liked it.
Oh, awesome! I'm watching it on the plane coming to Detroit. I'm looking forward to
talk about it. All right, Mitch. Hey, man. I'm looking forward to this weekend. What do you got for people? What's the show looking like?
My show has totally changed. I think I got a couple of old favorites in there for some people peppered in, but now my act is all about raising my son, and I'm doing it in a way that I think has never been done before. I always take a lot of pride in that. So make sure you come out and if the show sucks, then you can take Baxter home with you and That's my guarantee. My guarantee is if you don't like the show, you take Baxter home.
Oh, good. Well, you better be good. I
promise
Baxter.
I will.
He's a good boy.
I promise you, man. I wouldn't do that to Baxter.
Hey, Mitch, thanks for talking to me today. It's going to be a great weekend. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Come see Mitch Fatel, one of the best in the biz.
And also, Comedy Castle is one of the best freaking rooms in the world. I'm so excited to get back there. So
it's going to be a great weekend. Thanks, Mitch, for talking to me. We'll see you.
I'm excited. Thank you.
Okay, man. We'll see you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks, Mitch. Good talk. Enjoyed that talk. Yeah. He's a fun dude. I like Mitch. And, he's one of those guys that, if you weren't around in the 90s, the early 2000s, he's on Letterman. He's on all these shows. And here's your chance to really see him close up. And you're gonna have a good time this weekend with Mitch Fatel. He's one of those guys. Everybody in comedy knows this guy. Everybody knows how good he is. And you'll get to see it this weekend for yourself, and you'll get to see me. All right? So that's another reason to come to the Comedy Castle this weekend, because it is good to be back. And I'm really happy to make this show. I'm really happy to talk to all of you again. So say hi to me if you see me this weekend. Again, comedycastle.com for all the upcoming shows and tickets. Half off on Mitch Fatel if you buy them online. So go over there and do that. Want to remind you about the comedy classes at the Comedy Castle. Bill Bouchard has his beginner comedy class. I don't know the start dates on those. I think he's lining up his fall right now. I've got my next one on September the 12th. So if you want to sign up for the advanced comedy class, that's the one you do after the beginner class. Or if you're somebody who has some experience as a comedian, you can join the advanced comedy class with me on Saturdays, starting on September 12th. And there's an improv class with Tam White. And I don't know the date on that one, but again, call the Comedy Castle, 248-542-9900 to sign up for any of those. And, of course, all the tickets at comedycastle.com. And thanks to you guys for listening. Thanks to you guys for reaching out. And I kept it kind of quiet on social media and that about what was going on with my health. But it is good to be back here. It is going to be, I don't know if you'll see Baxter at the club. I guess I should clear that up. I don't think Baxter's showing up, but hey, he was there with the tell. I told that story last time, right? All right. Let's get out of here, guys. We'll see you this weekend for Mitch Fatel. Thanks for listening as always. We'll catch you next week. Bye-bye.